Good morning and welcome to my Monday morning thoughts on Monday the 15th of March. So, the question I'm asking you today is, what do you want? Now, for many, many years working with individuals at points of transition in their careers, this is often the hardest question, because what happens normally is there is an instantaneous reframe that goes, well, I know what I don't want. And then the floodgates open. There can be many things we know we don't want, whether it's we don't want to be doing part of our job anymore, that we don't want to perhaps work in an organisation anymore, that we don't want to be involved in a particular project that's taken for ages. We don't want to work for a particular manager anymore. There's a whole list of things that people have told me that they do not want. And it's really important that we understand what we don't want. It's a vital point in time when you realise what you don't want, that you can start to be curious, explore why, and consider what you do want. And then you make some changes and you step forward. But that doesn't always happen. There is a pattern that can occur when we don't get curious, we don't think what other things we could do, and we get caught up with the not wanting or knowing what we don't want. And we start to focus on what we don't want. And something really curious then starts to happen, something really interesting, something which I think is sort of mind-blowing in some ways. And that is, our minds start to work like an algorithm on social media. What happens is you start to see things that support your feelings and your point of view regarding the things that you do not want. You will find instances come to you or you're aware of that confirm your feelings and your thoughts. There might be snippets of conversation, there might be something that happens in a meeting, there might be something that somebody says to you, something that happens. And the next bit is the most important bit, is your brain goes, yes, I found something that confirms how you feel. And there's this bizarre thing that happens, that you start to feel good about finding things that support the things you do not want. Just let that land. You start to feel good because you spotted something that confirms how you feel. And it confirms your thoughts and feelings about what you don't want. That's really odd, isn't it? That you could feel good about those things. But that's essentially what's happening in your mind. And then, just like the algorithm, lots of things will then start coming towards you because that's your area of focus about what you don't want. The thing is, our areas of focus in this particular circumstance are on the past, things that have happened that come to our attention. They're not in the present about what we're doing at this particular point in time, and they're not focused on the future. They are actually focused in the past. So we find ourselves feeling good about things that have already happened that confirm what we don't want. It's bonkers, isn't it? I've been in that situation before, and I'm sure many others watching have too. And it can be really hard because we get caught up in that cycle. But the most important thing about this is that it is not moving you forward. And we can get caught up by just trying to escape the I do not wants. But we're not focusing in or focusing in, that's a good one this morning, isn't it? We're not focusing on what we really do want. And here's another key point for this morning, is that when we start to focus on what we do want, a whole set of emotions and feelings come into play. Excitement, for example. If you know that you want a holiday, you want it in a certain place, you plan it, and you know when you're going to go, you know the flight, hopefully we can do this within the next the months coming up, you start to get excited and you can't wait for that thing to happen. The same thing can happen in our careers, is if you start to get a sense, a vision, a thought, an idea about what you really do want, it brings up more positive emotions. It's not feeling good about feeling bad, it's feeling good about feeling good. That's where you want to be. You want to feel good about feeling good. Now, for lots of people, actually considering what they want can be really, really hard. But here's a really good place to start. You do perhaps some journaling and you try to put to one side the how you're going to get there, because that will keep you stuck as well and it'll keep your imagination stuck. You have to give yourself permission and free rein to be completely imaginative. You take a page and you just write, I want, and then let's see what spills out. Be as imaginative as you want. And then from that, be curious. What is in there about that future imagination that you can grab hold of and make forward steps and small steps towards now? Because this then moves you to the future, and a future that is going to feel good about feeling good. So the question I'm leaving you with you today, I can't really get my tea thing right today, can I? The question I'm leaving with you today is, what do you want? Really good to speak to you this morning, as always, and I can't wait to speak to you again next week. Have a good one.